So this is a recap for class today. Daily healing prompt number 166, work, life, and cycle. But in the class, it was work-life balance. This class was really interesting because it was very perspective-based and perception-based, which is that's a big part of life. And how when you fulfill yourself and do what you love, then that's what's going to bring the abundance, and everything is going to open up. It's not manifestation, rising above, whatever kind of mantra. It's you doing you, literally healing yourself, heal the world. But a lot of people in the class were feeling trapped at their jobs. And so we started to go into how me and Kat keep track of what we need to do. And Kat was like, yeah, I do sticky notes and I do a notepad. And she grabbed her notepad and she's like, I gotta write a list of everything I need to do today. And I was like, yeah. What I like to do is now on my phone. And then I thought about it more. I put a list on my phone of what I need to do that day, every day. And I was like, now that I think about it, I have a mobile calendar and a home calendar. In my home calendar, I put stuff that I need to do at home. And then at work, I write what I need to do that day on my hand if I need to. And what was important about these conversations about how we do things is what creates, what is genuine for us to do, what feels best for us to do, and what creates the follow through. Something that you can genuinely do start to finish. And I was talking about how mine ebbed and flowed throughout my life because I used to do sticky notes and I used to do the daily planners and I used to follow through on those. And then all of a sudden I needed hourly planner and then I would follow through on those. And then all of a sudden I would write out the planner and I never looked at it. And so I had adapted or updated and upgraded to where that just wasn't suitable for me anymore. It just did not work. There was no follow through anymore. So as that happened, I changed and adapted and updated. And Kat was like, yeah, on my to-do list, because remember she got out her notepad, she was explaining that she was going to write something, then halfway through she would go and pay attention to something else, and then go pay attention to something else, and then write it out, and then it would stop halfway through, and then pay attention to something else. And then Angel was like, yeah, that sounds like me. And that's whenever we got to talking about if you're feeling stuck, then it's actually going to pull you back. If you put confines on yourself, that is what's going to knock you back. And Kat started talking about how I'm in the aviation industry because I love airplanes. That's what, as long as I focus on me loving airplanes and airplanes, that is going to propel me forward and abundant. That's what's going to fuel me. And same with my spiritual business. I love people. I love helping people, discovering the things, doing the things, talking about the things, doing it together, moving forward, And then Kat was talking about how whenever she had an office job, it was really hard and so draining. And then everything else in her life couldn't progress or she couldn't pay attention to because the office work to her, even though it wasn't what people would consider draining, it was draining to her because it was going into the office, doing the things, stuff like that. And then we went into Kat was whenever I tell y'all in text message or whatever, that whenever y'all need to do stuff, what have you done about this? What are you doing to help your situation? And then I was like, yeah, it's not we're being assholes. We're doing it so you can do this too. Because if you rely on us, it's not going to work. How are you going to do what you do best? How are you genuinely going to live life for you and thrive? How do we get it to where when we help people, they are thriving on their own? And that is how. I remember in the TikTok comments, people used to tag me and Kat, and I'd be like, so what did you do about this? So I don't double do what you did. And then they'd be like, oh, I didn't, I just tagged you. And it's how are you helping yourself? How are you making it to where you are thriving looking at this content? And then I was talking about, like, I don't know, whenever somebody would tell me to do things, and it even still happens now. Like, if I go to someone and they don't know what they're talking about, I'd be like, hey, how do I do this thing that you should absolutely know how to do because it's in your job or whatever? And they're like, oh, I don't know. Or they genuinely don't know. Then I go to the next person and they don't know. And they go to the next person. And then I do what the one person says whose wheelhouse it is absolutely in. And then I would get in trouble for it. And I'd be like, that's crazy. How come they said the wrong thing, but you also said the wrong thing? And so their wrong thing is worser than your wrong thing that you told me to do. And now I'm getting in trouble. That's crazy. So it's like creating the tunnels and pathways to where no matter what block you run into, you're not pounding, LOL, pounding at the block. You are creating a pathway around it, like redirecting around it to go where you need to go instead of pushing yourself at this job or at home to against concrete. And then me and Kat were talking about how, like, nobody knew the answers to the question that we were asking or how to do things correctly. So we both, at separate times, ended up creating our own how-to guide. Even with all the policies and procedures and regulations, it just wasn't there. So me and Kat both on our own created like training manuals or like how-to manuals and things like that. So no matter what we ran into, it would just kind of reroute to where we needed to go. Like, oh, this scanner doesn't work, gonna go to this scanner. Oh, this, I don't know, like doing this thing on the computer doesn't work, gonna go over here. Oh, okay. Talking to you about it doesn't work, okay, gonna go over here, and still doing it. And then Kat had an example of whenever I was younger, and they'd be like, you're punished, go in the corner. I'd be like, hell yeah. They're like, you're punished, go to your room. And I'd be like, hell yeah. You're punished, come eat dinner with us. Hell yeah. Yes. And it's like, no matter what you do, you thrive. So that is the point. That is the balance. And everybody was talking in that class. It was so, we were all like bouncing off each other. Like Hannah and Des and Janine and Holly and Leute and Jennifer and Angel. And I think I'm just going to go through everyone's name. It was really good. Okay? And Marjorie. It was really good. Okay, love y'all. Bye. I will just keep talking.